Hello, welcome to Dorothy's Kitchen. I see that my husband is joining me here. I know that he likes this bread very much, and so actually we're gonna have 2 loaves because I have just done this exact video for everyone on Facebook as a live, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try this on YouTube and share with you our sour cream coffee cake bread. So I'm glad you could join us today, and you can always catch this live stream after the fact as well. So this was kind of an unannounced, unplanned. This is my 3rd live video today. Made some nice baked lasagna this morning for a fitness group that I'm in, and also made this coffee cake. So this is actually my 2nd time making this today, because I wanted to show you all the steps and kind of give you one really important tip that I've learned to make this super moist, super delicious. And this is a great little coffee cake bread. You can make this to enjoy with your afternoon coffee. It is so tasty, and really the reason is because of the sour cream. But make sure you watch, because I'm going to show you my little tip for why this is not always as moist as it should be, and really comes down to the flour. So I'm going to teach you how I do this to make sure that this is the most moist, most delicious coffee cake that you have ever tasted. So make sure you watch and enjoy this video today. What I'm doing is actually making another version of this bread, so hopefully I'll be able to show you what it looks like in just a few minutes. All right, let's jump into this. What we're going to do is use butter. That's what makes this so tasty. We're gonna cream our butter and our sugar together. So you'll have to excuse my mixer. That's gonna be adding a little volume to this video, so feel free to mute me if you would like. So this is just 1/2 cup of butter, and I melted it a little bit, not fully, not to the point of fully melted, but just softened. It's actually been sitting on the counter for a little while. So I'm going to cream that with 1 cup of brown sugar, and it is just going to come together in about 1 minute. Cream that fully. Make sure you have no lumps. You don't want to have any lumps at all, so you can take those out by hand. This is a good chance to do that. So we'll just give this a stir. Now this is I made this bread. I'm going to check on the other bread in just a second. As part of our 30 days of bread making. Reminder to my editor, he's still working on a few of those videos. But we have a lot of great bread recipes on our channel. And we are diving in to sourdough. And I am so excited about that. I'll just show you my starter here while I'm mixing. 2 jobs here. This is our sourdough starter. We've only just been doing this for less than a month. And I just fed my starter last night. I'm gonna probably be making some bagels today. So this is amazing. So healthy for you, so easy to make. I'm gonna pause while I check on my first bread that I made and see how it's doing. Now I recommend that if your bread is getting brown on the top but not cooked all the way through, that you add the tinfoil tent, because you don't want it to be burnt after all that work. So let me just pop that on. A little tinfoil tent there. And I'm going to give this another probably 8 minutes. And then we'll check on it again. So my butter is pretty creamed in here with my sugar. This is brown sugar, if I didn't mention that. I put the recipe in the description for you. I can also add it into the comment as well. I know the descriptions are a little bit tricky to find on YouTube sometimes, especially in the shorts. I'm just gonna go in and make sure I have no lumps, and I have a super creamy mixture here. All right, looking good. It's a bit of a pretty day here in Calgary. We've had some snow overnight, and the trees are just glistening. So pretty. It's a winter wonderland here in February. Okay. That looks good. All right, we're gonna add our eggs in. I just have to grab them actually. Forgot to set those out. I will be back in 2 seconds with our eggs. We're gonna add our eggs in. I'm gonna wash my hands, make this very sanitary. So I hope you can make this bread. Just gonna work in my eggs here for a few seconds. And then I'm gonna be done with this bowl and I'll be on to bowl number 2. If you give this a try, you'll have to share a picture of it for me. Probably have to do that on Facebook. Can't really share photos on YouTube. My kids like this in their lunch, so I will be using that for their little lunch treat. Try to give them one treat every day. They usually ask me when they get home from school, "What did you make today, Mom?" They might say hello first. Hello, and then what did you make today? So I'm just gonna scrape my sides down. So if you're looking for some good sourdough recipes, not just sour cream, I have so far got biscuits, I have shared pretzels, I have shared bagels, all with, oh, and banana bread. So I have all of those recipes are on my channel. So you can check those out. And if you need help finding them, you can always send me a message. You can probably just Google it. Okay, or I could actually put them in the comments too for you if you're looking for them. You ask me and I'll send you a link. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is do our dry ingredients. Now here's my biggest tip for flour. It really does have to be spooned and leveled because this will get a little bit too dense if you don't do that. So make sure you can see, okay? I've got my sourdoughs blocking your view. So we have our 2 cups of flour, and what I'm gonna do to that is add the rest of my dry ingredients. So it's just 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon baking soda. Very simple. I have just a bit left in my box here. And then it's just half a teaspoon of salt. And that's it for our dry ingredients. I'll just mix those up. Could whisk it. And that is it. So now what I'm going to do is alternate my flour mixture and my sour cream. So for sour cream, we're using 1 cup of full fat sour cream. And sour cream is really such a great ingredient to use with your baking. It adds fat and it's so delicious. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla is going in this bowl. Am I blocking you again? So that's 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm just gonna mix that into my sour cream. You could also mix it into your other mixture, the other wet ingredients, but this works too. So mix those 2 together, and then I'm gonna alternate my sour cream about 1/3 at a time. So 1/3 of sour cream mixture, and then 1/3 of my flour mixture, and that is it. Look at that. It's like a 10-minute recipe. So fast. So I'm going to pop this in here, about 1/3 of the sour cream, and work that in, and then I'll add 1/3 of my flour. So easy and so delicious. This is going to take about 50 minutes to bake in your oven. And I bake it at 350. So that's 1/3 of my flour mixture. And then I will be back with my sour cream. I'll add another 1/3. And this works so well to get that all worked in nicely. And I'll mix that in, and then I'll add 1/3 of my flour, just alternating. I'll just have one more round to go. Scraping down your sides in between. Now, the nice thing about this is you can add nuts to it if you like nuts, but if you are nut-free or you have kids and they go to school, then you don't want to add any nuts probably. So that's optional, but I would not skip the cinnamon and sugar because that's what makes this so tasty. I've served this to one of my friends before for her birthday. She loved it. Such a nice little coffee cake. Afternoon slice with some nice coffee. We get our coffee from North Mountain Coffee in Berwick, Nova Scotia. It is delicious. Love it. Love their company. They do all their own roasting. They are just a small company. So if you need a good place to get some nice coffee and you live in Canada, I don't know, maybe they ship outside of Canada. I'll have to check. But they ship across Canada. Just got my order of my French roasted coffee. Oh, it's so good. Delicious. All right. That is just coming together. Now, I don't work this too much. Once it comes together, that's it. I just stir until combined. You don't want to beat your batter. I'm going to just get the last little trimmings here, and I'll show you what it looks like. So kind of like a very thick muffin batter maybe. Definitely thicker than a pancake or a waffle mixture. I'm going to check on that bread again. See how it's coming along. We'll pop it out of the oven maybe. Usually when I have so much going on, that's when I make mistakes. But I'm going to use my cake tester. If you're new to baking and you don't have a cake tester, make sure you get one. I'm going to give this another 5 minutes, but I'm definitely happy that I'm putting the tent on today, because I don't want that to be overbaked. Okay, so we're going to do 5 more minutes. It's almost done. Okay, now I will show you how I combine this dough to make that beautiful sort of cinnamon swirl. All right, so half of my dough goes into my sprayed loaf pan. This is a 9 by, what is this? No, I have to measure it. Why do I forget? Let me get my measuring tape, which I usually use for refinishing furniture. This is a 6 by 9. 6 by 9, is that right? Yeah, or maybe even if you're just going by the inside, it's sort of like 5.5 by 9. So that's what I always use for my loaf pan. There's probably different size loaf pans, but this I think is a pretty standard one. So I'm adding about half of my batter into this, and I'll just sort of smooth that down. Okay, and now is where the delicious part comes, your cinnamon sugar. I use about 3/4 cup of brown sugar, and you can use as much cinnamon as you like, but for my recipe I put 1 teaspoon, and I'm just going to sprinkle that on here, and then I'll reserve the rest for the top. Now again, if you want some nuts on there, you do you. Enjoy your nuts. Walnuts are really good. You just have to be careful that they don't burn. We're gonna put this on the top here. So I'm just covering the rest of that cinnamon sugar with this delicious batter. Okay, now we'll smooth that down again. So this will look sort of like a banana loaf. and it can be sliced up and enjoyed. Okay, now we'll sprinkle on the rest of our cinnamon sugar. I'll move this out of your way. Sprinkle that on. And boom, Bob's your uncle. We're good to go. That's how simple it is. Now this has to bake for between 45 to 50 minutes. I might have mentioned that. And I bake it at 350. So that is what it looks like before it goes in the oven. And I'll show you what it looks like after. All right, so I'm gonna pop this in right now at 350. I'm not gonna tent it at the beginning. So I'm gonna pop this in. I'll show you my final one. Okay, let me get my temperature right. So I'm gonna put that on for 45 minutes and then, or actually 40 minutes, and that's probably when I'll put the tent on. And here, voila, is our final sour cream coffee cake. Now I'm gonna take this out of here. I'll show you first. I'm gonna double check it. I think it should be good. Comes out clean. You don't wanna over bake it, but I'm not gonna take it out for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I will put it on my wire rack to cool down. I can post a picture so you can see the inside, but it is super delicious. Such a nice little treat and so easy, and a perfect way to use up extra sour cream. I did not want it to go bad. I accidentally bought another one yesterday because I didn't see this one in the back of my fridge. So a great way to use up your sour cream and a delicious afternoon treat. So thanks for watching today. Make sure you give this a try and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.